This episode is not meant to offend anyone. I'm going to talk about some sensitive subjects when it comes to the RV consumer, RV dealership, and RV manufacturers, pretty much the RV community and the RV industry as a whole. It's not meant to offend you, it's meant for education. Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. The first subject I want to bring up is Brinkley RV, and it's a question. If you are a Brinkley fifth wheel or Brinkley fifth wheel toy hauler owner, I want you to email me and let me know the answer to this question. Are you having any doubts or any problems with your frame? I will not mention your name, just like with the Grand Design frame failure and frame flex thing. I will not mention your name. I will not mention where you're from. Complete anonymity. Basically, you'll be completely anonymous, okay? The reason why I'm asking is because now I've seen two videos. One video that's by a not so reliable source, hint, hint, wink, wink, and one that is by a pretty credible source, two different customers that said they're having almost, if you watch the videos, an identical frame problem with their Brinkley fifth wheel or Brinkley fifth wheel toy hauler. Now, I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion or anything of that nature. I just want to know, are we still in the same boat we were with Grand Design, or is this something that might be just a speck on the radar? And the only way we're going to find that out is if you, the owners, reach out. If you're having any major problems dealing with the frame, the electrical, email me at Levingstonrvservices@gmail.com. I'll put that email in the description box below. I'm curious. I want to gather information like I did with Grand Design. Now, the reason why I say one that's not so credible is there's a few people on YouTube doing YouTube for fame or that adrenaline hit. They have plenty of money. They've either inherited a bunch of money from a family member, they sold a business, they can afford to, scrap and do whatever they want, right? And maybe they're bored. I don't know. Okay, but there are people out there on YouTube in every subject that basically do this for that hit of adrenaline. Okay, and then there are some folks out there that are very vengeful. They've had something very bad happen to them, and they're going to make an industry or a company pay. You guys know what I'm talking about. And, negativity really sells on YouTube. Negativity sells on the media, period. Okay. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to go down here. Let me go backward a little bit. When a lot of you reached out to me in October 2023 and said you were having problems with your frames and you wanted me to talk about the subject, I originally went, well, every frame flexes. I've been in the industry a long time. I understand the engineering of a frame, of a fifth wheel, of a motorhome, of a travel trailer. It naturally flexes. So I didn't understand really what was going on or understand it. And then a lot of you, when I asked you for the information, a lot of you reached out to me in droves. And it started out with 10, then 20, then hundreds. I won't even tell you what the number is. I won't even share the info with lawyers. So let me put it this way. I will put it to you like this. With the info I gathered, I've had three companies, three lawyer groups, won't mention their names or anything else, that have reached out to me asking me for that data. I'm not sharing it. Because the reason why I don't share it with a lawyer group is do your own bloody homework. Okay, number one. And number two, I promised everybody that reached out to me that you would stay anonymous. I would not share it with Grand Design. I would not share it with a lawyer group. In this case, I'm not going to share it with Brinkley. Okay, I've already learned my lesson that Some manufacturers don't really want the data, right? Some do, some don't. I know of 3 manufacturers that reached out to me asking me if I had any data on their fifth wheels. Again, I'm not going to mention their name because I'm not here to burn bridges. That may be offensive to some people, but I'm not here to rat people out. I'm not here to burn bridges. I'm not here to go point the finger at different people. Okay? I've given my opinion about the Grand Design situation, and my opinion is that I believe truly it's 90% Grand Design's fault. But that's my opinion. Okay? That's based on the information I gathered and my experience of being in the industry for as long as I have been. I split up the other blame upon Lippert and consumers and owners abusing their stuff and roads and stuff like that. Okay? So I divided up. I didn't point the finger and say it's 100% Grand Design. I believe it's 90% Grand Design just because the scale of the problem. But just because Grand Design had a problem from year model 2014 to year model 2024, just because they had that frame problem doesn't mean Brinkley does. Yes, the Brinkley owners and the Grand Design owners pretty much share the same thing until Winnebago bought Grand Design. They share commonality, right? Because pretty much it's the same owner group, plus or minus some people. Okay? But just because Grand Design went through this frame problem, no matter what the speculation of why or how, I mean, we could talk about that speculation all day. It doesn't mean Brinkley does. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to make an ass out of myself and not reach out and say, hey, let's do the same thing. How many of you are having a problem with your Brinkley fifth wheel frame or electrical or axles or whatever the case may be? Let's get to the bottom line of what reality is. Is it really that big of a problem or is it not that big of a problem? Okay. Now, that's sensitive stuff because, again, I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. I've never been here to sugarcoat it, okay? I'm here to give you what reality is. Now, the other sensitive subject I really need to talk about is a lot of you are being really stupid in the way you're reacting towards the information I'm giving you, okay? I understand if you've been brainwashed by the media. I get it. It's really hard when you are either a very hard right-wing conservative or you're a very far left-leaning liberal. I understand that there's certain podcasters and certain media outlets that you're going to trust, and that's all you're going to trust, even if they give you bad information. Whether it's CNN, whether it's MSNBC, whether it's Fox News, whether it's Newsmax, whether it's some right-wing podcaster that thinks the world's ending every day, whether it's some guy, every media outlet, including myself, gets paid every time you click and watch a video. We're paid. And the more views we get, the more money we get paid. And as we all say, sex sells. So when you got a guy on a podcast, and this is not specific to anybody, just to give you an example, and they put out there a thumbnail that says, they are training our kids to become bombs or something, or teaching them to disarm bombs or something of that nature, and that our kids are going to lose their education and lose their way and lose their life and lose this and lose that. When they put that in a thumbnail with a crossbones and two kids playing in a playground, that's an attractive thumbnail to click on, like, especially when you're a parent. Like, oh my God, they say my kids are going to be unalived. Let me click on it and see what he says. And the first thing, Trump is the savior of the universe, or Trump's the Antichrist. That's the stuff we get in the media, because that's the kind of news that gets you to click gets you to buy products, gets to buy courses, gets to support the creator, the content creator, whether it's Sean Hannity or Don Lemon or Tucker Carlson. It doesn't matter who it is. Okay? And where I was going with that is when I tell you that prices are going up, and a lot of you were really smart, by the way, tons of you, I'd say 95% of you were smart. And when asked the dealers at shows, hey, this guy says that prices are going up, what's your thoughts? And almost every one of you that have emailed me that went and asked a dealer, every dealer said that our prices are going up between 3 and 7%. Common number. Now I said 5 to 9. They say 3 to 7. We'll see where that ends and lands. Okay? With or without the tariffs. When I say that, that is not to go knock you over the head until you go buy an RV tomorrow. That's not what it's about. It's information and education. It's just like the fact, oh, the quality of one built today is not the quality of a 1985 trailer I owned. Good for you. That's fabulous. That's wonderful that you feel that way. In my experience, working on 1980s trailers, 1990s trailers, taking them on trade, living in one, they are worse quality overall than what's built today. And there's a reason behind it, okay? It's not because, oh, this, and that. No. Yes, maybe some things are better. Maybe the cabinets were actually real wood instead of that plastic crap that they use right now. But they were heavier. Maybe they used a heavier appliance, a heavier duty appliance rather than these 12-volt fridges. Okay? But in all reality, the electrical has gotten better, but it's also gotten more complicated. Okay? So what you're referring to, what a lot of you refer to when you're saying that a 1995 is better than a 2025 is one of three things. You're either referring to the simplicity of it, because anymore what we have in 2025 is we have a lot of complicated moving parts, even on a $15,000 17-foot single axle trailer. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay? And there's a lot of accusations thrown out there about Chinese steel and Taiwanese steel and Canadian steel, and they don't build it to the gauge of what it used to be. I've seen 1970s and 1980s steel trailers. They're just like today's. And a lot of them fall apart and get water damage faster because back then they didn't have ASDEL. They didn't have what they have today to try to prevent a lot of the mold. Now, for those of you that say, well, I got mold in my 2019, did you ever go reseal the roof? Let me give you guys a little statistic here. And it's, again, this is not to offend anybody. Out of the last 40 trade-ins that I have taken in on trade that are at least 5 years old, not one person that traded it in had their roof resealed once. Not once. Not one time have they serviced the appliances to clean them. I will say this, and again, it's going to offend you, but the majority of you don't take care of your shit. You don't do the routine maintenance on your own car. So how can I expect you to do the routine maintenance on a boat, on an RV, on a dirt bike, on a side-by-side? The majority of us, especially Americans, want to get into a vehicle and go use it and never have to fix it, never have to do any maintenance, never have to actually lift our thumb or pay any money out of pocket to keep the thing maintained and healthy. Now, that's not everyone. There are a lot of people that take really good care of their stuff. Okay? Lots of people. Those are usually people that consign their units with dealers. Those are a lot of people that sell their stuff private party, but they want way more money than what the trailer or the RV is worth. And that's because they took good care of it. So they understand the value of taking care of a product. The other day, I went down to go look at an absolutely beautiful Newmar motorhome. It's a 2007. Okay? Most 2007 motorhomes are trashed because people don't take care of them. This thing was in the wrapper. And the owner wanted $50,000 more money than what the motorhome is really valued at. But when you go look at the motorhome, the tires are new. It drives like a brand new diesel pusher with no kicks, no hiccups. You open up the motor compartment in the back, you go look at the side mounted radiator, it's clean. It looks brand new. The slide out seals are perfect. The roof gets resealed every 2 years or spot sealed every 2 years. The maintenance records this guy kept are like that thick. Because again, takes care of his stuff. Took care of the clear coat to make sure when it started peeling, it gets re-cleared. You know what most motorhomes look like when I go see them? They look like they came out of a dumpster fire. Because they were never taken care of. When I take apart generators and people wonder why generators aren't running right, nothing was ever cleaned. Nothing was ever maintained. So when you come and tell me, as a consumer, go get a third-party inspector because they're built like shit. Okay. Let me third-party inspect your coach. Let's pick apart the one you own. Let's see how many maintenance records you have. Which is a great segue, because now I'm going to really offend people. Because third-party inspector is a waste of fucking time and a waste of fucking money. Yeah, I cussed. If you want to have a third-party person that's not a part of a dealership, not you, not your cousin, not your uncle, you want somebody in the industry to look over your vehicle properly, a third-party inspector is just another way to get more money from you. Here's my suggestion. Because I know now comments are going to start flowing. You're a hater. You're so full of crap. You're just a salesperson. Here's what I would really suggest. Don't look for a third-party inspector. Look for a mobile technician. Call an independent service shop and see if they do a mobile inspection on a purchase you're going to do, whether it's private party, whether it's a dealer, whether it's a new unit, whether it's a used unit. I'll give you a great example. You guys have seen him here on the podcast. Dustin Simpson. If I were living in Northern California, anywhere near Lodi, California, I would call Dustin Simpson at California RV Specialist and go, hey, do your guys come out and do an inspection? Because to me, that's not a waste of money. Because you're actually getting somebody that works on them daily. Not a retired old fogey who's mad at the world because he's turned a wrench and has this Keystone's a piece of crap. No, Forest River's a piece of crap. No, Jayco's a piece of crap because that's all they worked on and supposedly they all fell apart. No, this is someone active in the industry that works on all kinds of brands, been around the block, and is currently working on them and current with the actual trends. You're going to spend the same money and they're going to communicate better with, let's say it's a dealership. Let's say you're buying a brand new Rockwood travel trailer. A mobile technician who's independent, got an independent shop or whatever the case may be, is going to communicate better with an RV service department than a third-party inspector. Like, let me take a 32-day course in Texas and I'm a pro at it. Give me a fucking break. Are you shitting me? I'm sorry. I love you guys to death. But my 13-year-old daughters could do a better job inspecting a coach than 99% of third-party inspectors. And they know nothing about the unit, but at least they've lived in them, and at least they're around me. You're better off getting a mobile technician or getting an independent service shop to have somebody come out and look. You're going to get a better experience, because here's what happens. Here's the bullshit that occurs with third-party inspectors that are not mobile technicians or not actively a technician in the industry. You get, oh, there's a nick on the thing. Oh, there's a scuff on the thing. Oops, this is not, oh my God, the wiring on this is miscolored a little bit. Or there's no label here. I watched a guy come out that was a full-time RVer, never worked at a dealership in his freaking life, never turned a wrench in his whole life except for on his piece of crap 1998 falling apart Weekend Warrior. And he's a professional inspector who charges $2,000. And he comes out and inspects a fifth wheel. Didn't find one major problem with the unit. All cosmetic stuff that the customer already knew about. And yet wrote a report this thick on cosmetic defects. Nothing about a frame problem. Nothing about any electrical problems. Nothing about any leaks. Nothing about any of that stuff. This thick about little cosmetic things that the customer already knew about. So the customer wasted $2,000 of their own hard-earned money for no reason. Then I've got another story. This is the best one about third-party inspectors. So I got an email from a customer. That's what sparked this. That bought a Keystone, Montana high country. Okay? It's being bought back at this moment, as we're speaking. Congrats. I guess Keystone wasn't really fighting it too much. Pays $2,500 to have an inspector go look at it. A 32-day course, Texas class. Only place you could do it is in Texas, and it costs you X amount of dollars, inspector. Came out with a 10-page list of all cosmetic stuff that was wrong with the fifth wheel. First trip out, the hydraulic slides failed. Miserably failed. And the entire braking system electrically fried. Now, piss on the inspector and piss on the service department that worked on the unit that didn't test the brakes. Very easy to test them. We test them here at the lot. Not hard to do. Not hard to plug in a tester and see if something's going to fry and light up. Neither did it. Now, thank God that Keystone pretty much went, yeah, buyback time. Never hesitated, because it was that bad. Not caught by the classroom inspector. I'm sorry, it's such a horseshit industry. If you had a real mobile tech come out and do another pre-delivery inspection that wasn't a part of the dealership, that actually walked through and did an actual PDI, because that's what they do daily, it would have been caught, and then the paperwork would have never been done, and the person would have never been stuck on the road for 6 hours in the middle of the fucking desert, $2,000 or $2,500 in the hole with an inspector. So don't play this game about, I'm tired of hearing that crap. It's such horseshit. I understand if you want to make money while you're full-time RVing. I understand that ad revenue on YouTube and sponsorships on YouTube and other platforms are drying up in the RV industry. I 100% understand. Stop bullshitting people into these inspections when you're not qualified. 1%, from what I'm understanding, 1% of these inspectors are actually qualified to do it. So don't call an inspector, call a technician. Now, here's what I'm going to do. If you made it all to the end, I'm going to teach you how to inspect your own unit before you take possession of it. That's right. I'm going to do a class. It's going to be a members only class on the main channel. I'm going to lower the price of the membership down to $4.99 a month. And I'm going to, once every 2 weeks, I'm going to teach you how to do maintenance of your own trailer. And I'm going to teach you how to do an inspection. Step by step. If you're wondering why I'm not going to do it for free, because I think I deserve to get paid for my knowledge. And if you don't think I deserve to get paid for your knowledge, I don't give a shit. Don't care. The last thing I want to cover for the last 3 minutes is you could talk crap about me all you want on the internet. I don't care. I think people don't realize that it doesn't bother my peace every day. I got more going on in my life than worrying about what some dumbass said about me, okay? Now, I appreciate a lot of you. I love you. A lot of you that reach out to me and tell me, hey, this guy's saying this and this guy's saying that. I do appreciate it because it helps me kind of respond to things. But I don't watch the videos. I could care less. Somebody, most of the time, most of you have gotten smart and just send me the clips. And I'm like, thank you, because I don't have 30 minutes to sit down. I don't have the time. I have barely time to do this video right now. It's crazy. That's the truth. I'm busier than a hornet's nest. I can't keep up anymore. I'm going to have to hire someone to help me. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but it's just going to have to happen. I love you guys. I love the audience. I love the people that support me. I thank you. But for the people that don't support me, good luck in life. You know? You're not going to bug my peace because you make a stupid comment. It doesn't bother me. Will I mention it? Sure. Does it keep me up at night? Fuck no. I could care less. But it is what it is. So just remember, until next time, RV stands for toolkit and sense of humor. Definitely.